Alright guys, today we're going to be fixing one of the most common problems with these OBS trucks. And if you have an OBS, you have either had, will have, or are having right now this problem. And that is the door handles. They're either broken or they just don't open the door. And what you got to do is, when you get somewhere, you got to roll down your window, reach your hand outside, and open it from the outside. And if you ask me, there's a little bit more work than I want to do. So we're gonna fix them. I'm gonna show you how to do it. So let's get to that. Okay, so you're gonna have about 8 screws holding your door. You're gonna have one here, one here, one in there, and then the rest are gonna be all on the bottom of the door. So all the way around here. So that's the first thing you gotta take off. Your next step is gonna be removing the switch panel if you have electrical windows and locks. And like I said, just take out that one screw, and then you're gonna have one clip on the top right corner. So you're just gonna pry up on this, and then on the back of it, you have 3 screws holding in all your wires. So you're gonna take off those 3 screws, and this whole part is gonna come out. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, so now it's out, and then I like putting my screws back in to this thing to at least keep these ones in its place, because there are a few different sizes. So at least this helps me let these screws go right there. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock the door to bring that down. That way you don't have to pull it up as much. And then with the door has a few clips all the way around it, so we're gonna pop those loose. And I always like having extra clips on hand, because I guarantee you that there's gonna be a few clips that are gonna break. So before you do this, I recommend that you run to AutoZone or any auto parts store and get some clips, some door clips for these trucks, like I said, so that you have them on hand. So anyways, I'm gonna take the door panel off. I also do recommend that you get one of these trim removal kits. I bought this one off of Amazon. It's worked great. I've used it a lot, and so far I think only 2 of these things are broken, and that's because I kind of was using them to do other things that I shouldn't have. But other than that, they work great, so I really recommend these, and they will make your life way easier. So anyways, I think we're gonna use this one. Okay, so it's kind of hard to show you with one hand how to do this. Basically what I like to do is I like to pull on this little pocket right here, and get my tool just in there. And once you have your tool in there, you'll pry it open. And can't really see, but if you look through the crack, you'll be able to see the little pins holding the door in there. So you're just gonna go up the crack and find your pins and just pop it open, just like that. And then you're gonna go see, there's one of the pins, one of the clips. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna go all the way around. We're gonna go all the way around the door and get them all broken loose, and hopefully not break them. Okay, so now that you have your door loose, there are a few clips in the somewhere in the middle of the door, so you're gonna have to pull the door out with a little bit of force. But anyways, once you got all those clips out, feed your switches in there, and then you're gonna pull up. Actually, I gotta do this with. So yeah, sorry I couldn't show you that, but you really need both hands. So anyways, what you gotta do is you gotta pull up and then slide it out past the door handle. And once you have it out, you're gonna have to unplug the little light if you have it. And there you go. Your door panel should be out. And our problem is right there. And I'll show you what happens. I'll take this off and show you what happens. Okay, so now I took my door handle mechanism off, and basically what happens is, see that? It completely fails. It breaks. This whole area is really weak, so it'll break. And so I think basically your cable might start getting old or worn out, and we're gonna clean this out too. But from all the pressure you're putting on it, you'll start breaking this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reinforce this piece right here. Got a couple ideas of what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna use a couple things to reinforce this thing. The first thing is gonna be this piece of 14 gauge metal, which is gonna be on the top side, and on the bottom side, instead of using that clip that Ford uses, we are gonna use this. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what it's called. I found it at work, but it's basically a nut, really big nut, and that's gonna go on the back side of this. So we're basically gonna sandwich this whole sheet metal and really reinforce it. So anyways, I'm gonna cut plank over here, this piece of metal, drill some holes in it, and then we're gonna throw it back in here. By the way, this is a perfect time to get some new handles. I highly recommend you upgrade to these steel handles. I got these off of Amazon, I believe. I'll leave a link down below. And basically all you gotta do is you gotta take off this little bolt right there. And that's it. Comes off of that clip right there, if you can see that. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description. And I already made that plate. I threw some paint on it, so I'm waiting for it to dry. And once it's dry, we'll start putting this whole thing back together. There you have it. This is our plate. Like I said, this is only a 14 gauge plate, which is about a 1/16 thick. And it's nothing fancy. I mean, you know, it's just got to fit right there. And it's only got to fit, it's only got to have these two holes. The one for the actual bolt. And this one is for the back of the handle right there. See this little tab? That goes in that hole. So anyways, I'm gonna throw all this back together and then I'll catch up. Okay, so there you have it. That's what it's gonna end up looking like. And check that out. Now it's solid. I also did lube up everything on the whole door mechanism. So I lubed up this whole part of it, the hinges over here. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and throw some rivets on this thing so it's actually solid to the actual door. So I'm gonna try and do that, see how that works out. I think I'm gonna have to end up actually probably drilling the holes, taking this thing back out, throwing the rivets on, and then putting everything back together. But I'll show you. Oh, that's the plate. Now it's part of the door, and like I said, that's all you need. You just gotta make this little plate right there, a couple holes in there, and that's it. I'm gonna start reassembling everything. Oh, that's just beautiful, guys. Check that out. Perfect. So everything seems to work good, pretty smoothly. So I think we're good. We're gonna start throwing everything back together, and this should be done. It actually wasn't that hard. I was expecting it to be a little bit harder, but like I said, all you need is a little 14 gauge piece of metal, a few drills, little impact. You don't need it, but it helps. Some drill bits. A grinder, and then I use this little vice grip. And yeah, it's actually pretty easy. Anyways, I'm gonna start throwing everything back together because it's getting pretty. So like I said, it's a really good idea to have a few of these clips laying around. So yeah, because like I said, one of these clips actually broke. Luckily, it's right here where I can reach and put a new one in, and you can feel when they don't clip right. But anyways, I'm gonna also leave a link for these little clips so you can get them ahead of time if you're gonna do this job or anything that involves taking the door off. But anyways, I'm gonna throw this one back in there. Hopefully this one will work. And we're pretty much done. It's looking good. By the way, this is the gun that I used for the rivets. It worked great. It's the first time using it, and it worked flawlessly. So if you need one, again, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's good.